Throughout my travels around the world, I experienced so many institutions, from museums to gallery spaces, also to artist studios. And I look back at home and I realized that there was so much potential within this place. So as a cultural innovator, I'm basically interested in the unrealized potentials in the art world and also in society. In Tamale, I've basically been interested in the idea of bringing objects that have not been considered to be artistic into the art realm. So hence, I brought the aircraft from Accra and also archives from railways and other things. I've invested quite a lot into this project since I started. I guess I've invested a little over 2 million euros. With regards to posterity, I'm more interested in how children in the next 2 or 3 generations are going to look back and somehow imagine that someone made a decision that somehow affected the change within their lives.
The shift in our generation is referring back to the idea of the glitch, because the world is in a constant state of crisis, but we always pretend that it's not. So when an artist wants to make a work, he takes the things that he wants to beautify the thing. Even if it's a problem, he wants to beautify it. But for us, we want to present it as it is, and even in a more subtle, but when you look at it, there is something really haunting about it. So that was the shift that at least we've seen, at least within our generation now, in terms of artistic practice.
I had a residency at Tamimere Foundation in Amsterdam, and my mentor there was Marine Dumas, and she was trying to teach me how to paint. She was very generous with her style. She would come into my studio and show me how to paint. And then she had all these drawings during her lessons with me, and she would walk out and I would gather them and run after her and say, "Look, Marine, you've left your drawings. Now I regret it." Should have kept those, I should have come here and put them around, I think. You know, this is one of my she must have thought, God, what a green person from Africa. But I was pretty that green. I didn't really know much about. And anyway, she realized that actually I had an effect on people walking around Amsterdam with a volleyball. And so instead of teaching me to paint more, she took me to a wedding by Misha Gaba, who was getting married at State Lake Museum. And that sealed for me. It gave me more confidence that I could pursue a career as a contemporary artist.
At the White Cube is titled Lazarus, and Lazarus basically is taken from the Bible, and the idea of Lazarus actually comes from these silos that were built in the 1960s by Kwame Nkrumah but were completely abandoned. So generations down the line, I've been very much interested in the idea of bringing these spaces back to life so we could use them as cultural institutions. I bought one last year in Tamale, which I exhumed and realized that there were all these bats living in it. So I got really crazy with the idea, and I thought that I could actually make an exhibition inspired by the bats.
Yeah, great.
So we are in Capital Corpses, which is actually this work, which is made up of sewing machines, old sewing machines, which are collected at Ababushi and other parts of the country, which is combined with school cabinets, which are coming from my schools from Newtown and all that. And for a long time, I've been collecting these cabinets by making new ones and giving it to the schools in the area and taking the old ones, including like the blackboards and all that. For me, it's very important for us to be able to at least look at objects when they go beyond, because a lot of these cabinets have been used for many years, over 50 years or more, and they've gotten to a point where they're almost breaking down. So I'm mostly interested in what happens when you somehow try to bring them back to life through art. And the sewing machines are old machines which are broken down, and we've actually worked with the tailor in Ghana to bring them back to life. So the sound that you're hearing is actually the sound it makes when you lubricate the machine that brings it back to life. Yeah.
The darkness reigns, it seems we're falling apart. Oh.
shown the work, and I was working on a series of like a big expose on African and Latin American artists, which we called Pangea. And when we were introduced to Ibrahim's work, we were very excited and we saw the potential of doing something very special and unique for the gallery. So we commissioned a whole room installation. So he wraps, you know how he wraps the outside of buildings, but we invited him to wrap the inside of our biggest gallery. And it was incredible. And we had many concerts within that space because it worked very well with the sound and the acoustic. And we had many conversations, we did a big educational program, and Ibrahim has just taken this language and this discourse and this passion from strength to strength. And to be here in this magical gallery and see such an incredible installation is so strong. I'm very proud and very happy.
The past was waiting for me when I came, in hand-woven cotton, some warm and free, handed down in free love, sweat back, shea butter and sweet syrup, warm for work and comfort, has been served by both. White Cube, Joplin, and of course Ibrahim Mahama for this incredible exhibition. Thank you for joining us. Hope you have an incredible rest of your evening. And hopefully we'll hear from you soon. Take care.